Okay, so we're back for season 3. So we have a new theme that we started this season. We did. Did we have one last season? I'm not sure. I know we definitely was playing with all the different interviews that we're having of how to kind of shape everything. But for this season, because of the effect of 2020 clarity, the theme for this season is losing a choice with the illusion of choice. Because a lot of times it seems like we have a choice to do what we want, do what we choose. We think there's millions of choices. And then in reality, we're given two choice or three, thinking that's the only choice. Whether it comes from, let me know what you think on this, Tiara. Either it's from preconception, for pregnancy, for other ladies, moms, for pediatric health, business, all these different things, right?
Right. Like the two choices are either you have this extreme medical, more like Western medicine medical scenario, or you do nothing. Like those are the choices that are presented to you. Or we do nothing and we just kind of wait it out and
Mm,
hopefully you don't have something drastic happen.
yeah,
You know, so definitely, I'm definitely excited to talk about this season.
yeah. And then for my side, when you just said that, I'm thinking, that's more like on the spectrum of what you choose. Either you have, you choose the medical allopathic side, and then you says nothing. But then what about the other part? Like, there's so much more things you can add to that or subtract whatever it is to, help you solve the issue, help you in regards to health, whatever it is that's going on with your kiddo at that moment, at that time or phase of life.
And then not even just with your kids, but with yourself too. And then I like how the conversations last season, and even all the conversations, not just last season, but from season 1 to, I think we came to this place because we started realizing that through the podcast, people were beginning to, for the first time, hear of different modalities, different options, or hear about it from a point of view that didn't have stigma attached to it already,
Mhm.
maybe debunking a lot of myths and things around certain modalities. And I thought that was so powerful because those have been conversations I see online often, just how people are realizing that the way we were taught, at least our generation, taught growing up, isn't necessarily true the way we thought when we were children. Like it's why the stigma is so easy to spread, because we were taught that you have to do things this way in order to be a healthy person. And now we're understanding that it's so much deeper than just the physical things we were taught. What, mental health didn't even become big in the medical world until what, the last 3-5 years or so,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
But we're understanding how important it is in order to help maintain our physical health as well, our mental health and our physical health. And we're learning too, our emotional health are all tied together. And so that's where the beauty of holistic healing comes in, because you're not just focused on one aspect of your healing, but all aspects. And then what
Because we're
I,
a person, right? Versus
because
like,
we're your own person. And then what I've been enjoying about our conversations too is that it's not always just about the healing, like getting the healing. Sometimes it's really just learning to let go and enjoy life. It doesn't have to feel hard. It doesn't have to feel like a burden. You should be enjoying this because it should feel good to take care of yourself and to be, full of yourself in a way to where you're proud of the care you put into who you are and how you present yourself. Because I know for me personally, self-care turned into something where I realized I was trying to look a certain way to impress other people, put out an image.
mhm.
And from that standard, like things like doing my hair, what makeup I wore, clothes I wore, things like that, working out, I was trying to keep up an image type of thing. And then for a long time, I wasn't aligned to that. I did not feel like putting forth an image for people. And it turned into understanding how the self-care I put into how I looked, how I worked out, those things, those fueled Tiara, because then Tiara got to be proud of how she took care of her and the person she was growing herself to be.
Mm,
You know?
yeah. When it was intriguing when we talked about this subject in Clubhouse, the very first Clubhouse we did, with a bunch of guys, I believe, and a few ladies in there too. That was what was most intriguing because a lot of times when we talk, I feel like we talk to women mostly, and
Mm,
the guys are not really. I mean, obviously everyone's included, but when we talk more geared towards women and females. That tends to be the head of the household or decision making. And so it was almost like a breath of fresh air thinking, the guys think the same way. They just want to help, they want to assist, they want to be a part of that, but they're just stuck. They don't know exactly what to do, because that's one of the questions that one of the guys asked. He's like, what do I do to help my family? What do I do to open up this newer way of thinking that a lot of generations haven't thought this way before? That was very enlightening in a sense. Like, oh, there's this bunch of guys in our age group that does think the same way too. And so,
yeah. And I think too, like that was why we decided the podcast wasn't all about, to not have the podcast be all about fertility, because we realized, first of all, there are women who maybe aren't trying to get pregnant or who already have kids or have no interest in having kids, who are getting valuable information from these things. And then we had Zach on the podcast, and we, then like I said, the Clubhouse, our eyes were open to the fact that these are conversations everyone should be a part of.
mm,
And yeah, I'm definitely excited to help. I feel like this season, you and I decided we want to help people see the problem, instead of just telling them what the problem is, but giving them scenarios and funny situations, like little out of the box situations to help them understand what the problem may look like.
yeah,
And also, I think it helps to kind of break stigmas, break the normal way of approaching these conversations, because of Kate, y'all, has found some really amazing analogies to use. But the analogies are so silly, it makes you really go, huh? And I treat myself like that, like, but when you break out of the normal way these conversations are being facilitated, and we get to dive into like looking at what's really happening and being honest about it without judgment, and just having true heartfelt conversations rooted in everyone's healing, then I feel like that's where we've been able to find our power in the conversations we facilitate, because we get to hold space for people as well as provide resources for them.
yes, that's where the upcoming episodes would be like, when we're gonna record it, at least like 1 or 2 weeks prior to the publishing of our episodes, so it'd be very relevant for sure. So things change, things keep changing every week, every day. And so that's what we're gonna kind of keep up with, but also have a running theme that, let's analyze the whole picture. Let's look at the holistic version of everything, so you know that there are a spectrum of choices. And so, going into that, we have, I think four different um, avatar, or how do you say this? A group of moms, a group of people who may, start from the mainstream aspect of what we've seen from the past, year of, they're thinking, okay, it seems like what we've been doing hasn't really been working. I feel like there's more to this than just going to the doctor when I feel sick and then coming back home and saying, okay, there's nothing else to do, or, I take medicine and that's it, right? There's a whole plethora of what you can go through where people can, open their eyes to all these different ways to, help with certain things like diagnoses, conditions, whatever it is that you want to kind of look at, and also spiritually, in regards to, like things like depression, things that you want to be better at, that there's a whole plethora of way to choose. And so kind of kind of going back to the basics of it, it's kind of like our podcast is from what you notice seems to be an issue and what you want to translate or transition into to look at the whole picture, right? Okay, so you may feel like a Kelly if you are, going to the doctor only when you feel horrible. You can't get rid of whatever it is that you're having, and you're thinking maybe someone else can help me, right? And then you're going to the doctor so many times that it doesn't seem to fix the issue, doesn't seem to help you solve your problem. But that, someone in your group of friends like a Sarah that have done things with essential oils or things with eating a little bit differently than what your family may have, are getting results, and you don't see that they're getting the same issues that you have, um, and you kind of know that there's something more. So you may feel like, Kelly, if maybe you have a kiddo and your kiddo is always allergic to something or everything, and then they get sick all the time, or they get sick for months and then they stop, and then continues the cycle over and over again. And all the doctors that you go to are saying, they'll get over it, they'll grow out of it, or you see what happens, just wait it out, right? Or you continue taking the medications. But deep down, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Tiara, I feel like a lot of mothers deep down know that there's something more, something different that they could do for their child.
Definitely. Like there is this lady, she's like a cousin to me. She's actually my cousin's best friend in Texas, right? Her daughter is, I want to say she's autistic, definitely on the spectrum. I want to say she's autistic. And baby girl has like blown up from the steroids that she's on and everything. She wasn't seeing any progress in like her speech or just social things. Well, when COVID hit, everybody was indoors. And so baby girl wasn't going to school. Mom wasn't able to go to work. She had to stay home with baby girl. And she was in this position where it was like, medicine isn't working. My 6-year-old weighs 150 pounds and she's not happy. I'm not happy. What the heck is going on here? So she said she had a gut feeling. I thought this was so interesting. She said she had a gut feeling to just cold turkey take her off the meds. And I'm glad she didn't cold turkey. She ended up talking to someone and took her off the meds slowly. And she started doing her own research. Long story short, baby girl is no longer on medicine. Her speech is better than it's ever been. She's learning like a, quote unquote normal kid. I don't like using that word, but that's how the mom describes it. She's excited because she's seeing her learn and enjoy life. Baby girl no longer feels like an outcast with her peers and things, but all because mom decided, I'm going to go with this gut feeling. There has to be a better way. If she's taking all this medicine, why are we both still so unhappy with this situation?
Mm-hmm. I see like that's so much of a driving force to a lot of moms, especially who I work with and who I talk with as well. That driving force of like that gut feeling, that intuition that there's something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's then the kind of transition to our next version of a mom person, to where maybe you feel like a Sarah, if you feel like, you've done all these different mainstream things and you're thinking, okay, I need the convenience because I can't do everything because it's so busy, as moms, as parents, as whatever it is, right? But you still are kind of doing the shopping at the big box stores, online, whatever is convenient, but you're still conscious and still informed of what to get and what not to get. So you have an idea of what to look out for. And so that you may feel like a Sarah in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to the next part, the third category of moms that I've worked with as well is you're more informed and you kind of take on that responsibility. Yet it's a lot of responsibility because when we transition from shopping from very convenient places, big box stores, online, all these different things, when we switch to certain things that may seem unfamiliar, but we know that it's best for the family, generations. That's maybe you feel like a Linda, to where you use certain things like CBD now, you're juicing regularly, you love essential oils. Like, may seem like it's for everything, right? Every occasion for everything to help with whatever it is. And so, and you're informed with what to put on your kiddo and what not to put on your kiddo. You're more holistic, minded to where you shop Whole Foods, local farms, take the supplements, certain things that you realize that are good for your kiddo. And then it comes to towards the other side, the last category where you may feel like an Amy, right? To where if you're Amy, you know everything else that's been going on, and you know the importance of vegetables. You know the importance of growing your own food, so you have a greenhouse garden, or you're planning to have a greenhouse garden, or you're one of those moms too, or um, parents who have urban prepper, survival prepper, all these different things that you have enough water for forever long. You know exactly how to pickle jars, like pickle vegetables, pickle fruit, pickle all these different things, and it's like stored um, food, stored supplies, all these different things in case that you need it, right? And so that's what you may feel like if you're this an Amy character. So those are the four different categories that we'll kind of gear our episodes towards, to where we had solutions for all these the four different type of people.
Yeah, Kate had the amazing idea to separate everything into these four categories because we want to be able to help our listeners on their path, So if you are a Kelly, you're most likely hearing this stuff for the first time. And it's piquing your interest because of the struggles or challenges Kate mentioned that a Kelly may be facing. And so, but a Kelly implementing these new modalities into her life, it's going to look totally different than Amy, who has been probably doing this for years. There may even be a part of her who grow up already informed on a lot of these things. And so she's more so carrying it out and building upon practices that were given to her when she was younger. And it's going to look totally different through the spectrum. Like, I like how you pointed out the two choices of either you go this medical, really like heavily medical route, or you just do nothing. It is a spectrum. Like, you can be super duper intense about anything you do, not just medical, but if you want to be super duper holistic and you do Reiki on yourself for an hour, and then after your hour of Reiki, you go for a jog in the woods and come back with bay leaves to make into, into a special brew because you understand the power of plant medicine, and you can go, like, I've really gone on hikes and seen people in the forest collecting bay leaves, and I was so impressed.
Just seriously, finding these bay leaves is like a skill set that I would want to learn in general.
It was like I had to stop and say, "Excuse me, can I ask what you're doing?" And she was like, "I'm looking for bay leaves." And I was like, "These are bay leaves? I wouldn't have even known they were bay leaves." And then she showed me, and she's like, "They only grow around here because I guess water used to like actually flow through that trail." It's the trail where we took our pictures at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's like, "They grow around here because of whatever that I don't know," but she clearly knew. Like,
right? Knowing
I was just so in awe. Yeah. So it looks different, and we want to be able to make sure people aren't just hearing this information for the first time, or, hearing it again with a little bit more information and don't understand how they can implement it. I think that was our goal last season, and we're still trying to understand the best way to do that, which is why we need you guys to tell us how you're receiving everything. What are the good ways that will make it easier to implement this content into your life? What are the things you're curious about? especially you guys, she's not going to do it, but Kate, she's not going to toot her own horn, but Kate is a plethora of resources for healing yourself without medical intervention. If that's the type of lifestyle you really desire, she is great at understanding how the brain functions in order to help the body and how the body needs to be aligned in order to help all the organs function together. She is amazing at helping you understand the way your body works in harmony to keep you healthy. So use her as a resource. I'm more so the person who I've experienced these things through my personal life, through being a mom, through being a wife, through being an entrepreneur and talking to other moms in these situations. So I have more of the lived experience perspective. And Kate is definitely like our textbook of all knowledge. So
Always
together.
learning for sure. Always learning.
Together though.
Research, you will know if you ask me.
I was gonna say, yeah, because you're always reading. You're always reading, guys. Kate sends me like random text messages with, "Hey, check out this website. Look at this video."
I now feel bad. Like maybe I should just slow it down.
No, don't stop. Don't stop. I love it. Don't stop. but and that's why I love it though, because I'm you don't have kids yet. I'm a mom. I got 2 kids, this business, and trying like really hard to make sure my marriage is strong and healthy while I'm taking care of myself. I just opened the podcast starting off saying how important I realize that is to me for my own health. So it's a lot. And you have made it so much easier to stay on top of these kind of things because I have a trusted resource I can go to. And if I have a question, I can pop in your inbox and like, hey, Kate, this came up, like, what's this about? So, I think that's something for me I would like to see more on the podcast. I'm loving this Clubhouse idea because I really enjoyed having the experience of having you in the room for people to ask questions like, I'm the storyteller, and then you come with the facts behind it. And then people have these questions about, I can relate to that. And what do I do from here? And I thought that was beautiful because everybody left that room saying they got something out of it that they really needed. And that's what we started the podcast for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can find us on a lot of different platforms. And then if you want to request topics, because knowledge is knowledge, but unless you use that knowledge, it's like worthless, right? In reality. And so if you're in Clubhouse, stay tuned to us. We're going to schedule future time where we can actually talk to you in real life at real time. And so you can ask any questions and we may use those topics in our podcast or maybe invite you as our guest, depending on what topic it is. And you can always find us on Instagram, Facebook, and those 2 things are here to stay, it seems like. So
we're adding more ways to get in touch. We're streamlining this, y'all. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Can I take a moment to express gratitude though?
Yeah, of course.
Because when we started this podcast, it was totally on this sounds fun. Let's see how it goes. And I know you know how much I love you for being my podcast partner and how amazing this has been for me. But then I have so much gratitude around the fact that this is season 3 and we are in a position where we're realizing, hey, we really need to figure out how people can get in touch with us better because they have questions, they have things that they want from this community, and we can't wait to share it. So I'm very grateful to be in this position. This is amazing. And I just had to say that.
So excited to hear from you in our season 3, and we'll talk soon.